and which actually I think, to me personally, I think it actually helps out Westside Gunn as he released Hitler Wears Hermes 8, which I believe is like a side A, because I think this is like a 30 track album in total, but we only got like half of that, right?
Yeah. So when we were in Vegas, he was announcing out loud when we went to the pop-up shop that Hitler Wears Hermes 8 was going to be a double disc 30 track. He even mentioned it on social media. It was going to be double disc, but the 30 track didn't come until we heard it in Vegas. So he furthered that double disc thing when the night before it released, he put out the track list, and in the caption he said side A. Mm-hmm. So obviously a side B is going to be coming. When it comes, we don't know. I have a theory on it, but I'm not going to get into it. That'll be like a off the record conversation. But I thought side A of Hitler Wears Hermes 8 is fantastic. I enjoy this album, and I think that this guy he's bringing boom bap rap sound in a way where it's like the modern audience can thoroughly enjoy it. I feel like there's some criticism to this project because not every project is 100% perfect, but this project is up there to me. I thought it was fantastic. I will be buying the vinyl as a collector's item. Like this, I can't say enough good things, but let me just get with the bad thing first. Way too many Stove God Cook features. I feel like majority of the album was Stove God Cooks. And it's not that I dislike Stove God. I know he's a Griselda member or whatever, but I think that for a Westside Gunn project, it's not that I don't mind Stove God Cook features. I would like to hear more Westside than Stove God Cook. Like there was a song on there with Stove God, Boldy, and Sauce Walker. Westside was even on the song, and that's kind of like some of the things I don't like. Another thing that my second criticism is all of the songs have features, and I would like if Westside he has songs where it's just himself, like just balance it out. I understand that his thing is his albums majorly always have features, kind of like Who Made the Sunshine, Fly Guy 2, but Pray for Paris, it like balance it out. He has songs by himself, and then he has songs with features on it. I would like to see more of that, and hopefully, side B might be more of the same as side A, but if he does come out with a project after this, hopefully it's more balanced out. But with that being said, that's my only criticism. I thoroughly enjoyed this album.
So when I was listening to the album, personally, I think this album is great. Like, I think this is one of the best Westside albums I've actually heard, believe it or not. I enjoy this album. I think the beats on this album are great. Shouts out to Denny LaFleur because he produced a lot of the beats I actually like. Conductor, great on this album. You know what I mean? I was telling Lyle the other day, we were speaking about this album, and I think I consider more or less like when Westside does these albums full of features and not so much of him rapping, I just look at it as, all right, he's a curator, or like he really like executive produced the album to sound the way it sounds. And I appreciate that because I think that's where Westside might shine the greatest, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So when I listened to the album, I heard Stove God, Benny, the usual suspects, and they all did great, and I enjoyed it. Westside did great when he was rapping. I'm excited to hear side B. I think Right Now is my favorite song. I love that beat. Jadakiss had a great verse on there. Like, just everything. I enjoyed this album a lot. I think it probably will end up in my top 5, but I don't even know because like there's been so much good music to come out, and we've still got maybe 3-4 months left before we really figure it out. But time's winding down, and Westside still has another side of the album to come out with. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I definitely can agree with that. Actually, I think it's very funny because the opinions that you both give I guess it kind of just gradually grows into this opinion also. So I know how Lau said he wasn't a big fan of like all the features and it heavily being Stove God Cooks, because I think that was my only gripe, is that it was so heavily Stove God Cooks, but I think at the same time, with it being so feature heavy, similar to what Nigel said, I do think this is going to be a good. To me, it made me more excited for a Griselda project, more of, right. Where when we had, I think it was what was Shingun do, right?
Yeah.
I think it, in terms of Griselda projects, because to me, similar to like probably how Lau feels, where it didn't feel like I heard a lot of Westside on here. It felt like Westside was more of a feature on this album than the actual main artist. But to me, it did feel like this was like something that he's beautiful at doing, is just orchestrating sounds and putting the right people together, executive producing, in so many words. I don't know. To me, I think my favorite song probably is Vogue Cover, which is what Stove God Cooks. That I think there's another joint where it's not Mariota. I forget the song. It's the song with Sauce Walker also.
Westheimer, man.
Yes.
So let me tell you real quick to cut off your opinion. So look, because I've been waiting to talk about this. Yeah,
go ahead, and get it out.
Sauce Walker, right? He put out a song earlier this year, I would like to say, where he's rapping. You know, I don't want to say, what's the best way to say this without like, you know, coming down on. He was rapping in a way that's not the way he usually raps. Is probably the best way to put it, right? And I enjoyed that shit. He actually raps pretty damn good like that. Me personally, I wouldn't mind if Westside executive produced an album for him, because I think that like he could actually shine. Not only that, there's not many rappers that are getting attention that are rapping like that from where he's from. So I think that it would be really good if Westside can make a connection like that and actually have him put out a great album, because I think that he could do that for at least a few songs. You know what I mean? Like, I think shouts out to him for that verse.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Sauce Walker verse. This is he came out with a song, I think it's called Without You, is a random single. And I put Nigel onto that song and he was like, this is Sauce? I was like, yeah, it's him. And he's like, wow, he killed this shit. So to hear him on the Westside album doing the same thing again, it's like, yo, this guy can actually rap. It's like, I don't know why he doesn't rap like that more often, but it's, you know, he's doing what's best for his business, of course. So I guess that's why he's making the songs that he makes. But I think Sauce Walker did a damn good job. I think he killed it. But my favorite song, before I let you guys finish up your thoughts on the album, was Mariota. I just thought that song just set the tone and like, all right, this is what we're going to be getting into until this album's done. It's like this album was like a motion picture. And I was just kind of like, this guy Westside, man, he's done it again. Like one thing you could always say about him, he might not be the best rapper out of the group. He's very consistent in his projects. Right. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's like from Fly God is an Awesome God 1 all the way till now. It's like each project is wow.
I think most people can say, like, looking at his music, his body of work, like you said, especially since Fly Guy 1, is very consistent up until now. And I think it's also the thing of like, hey, this guy has a formula that works for him. And even though, like you said, he may not be the best rapper, he doesn't give a bad verse. I haven't heard. That's one thing I think we should clarify, that even though he's not on every song, sometimes on his album, it can be feature heavy. It may be more ad-libs than anything, or more samples than anything. When he spits, he's a good rapper at the end of the day. I think we all can agree on that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, like he definitely shows out every time. And I think I don't know, I think this just means something. I think it just shows what he has, what he could end up elevating himself to, especially if this is only side A. Like, I mean, I think we'll talk more about off camera what side B may entail. Because if side A sounds this good, we only can know what side B will sound like, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do want to go back to the whole thing with Sauce Walka, right?
Okay.
So when I was listening to it, I remember you guys were saying like, oh yeah, Sauce Walka had rapped over one of these type of beats, da da da. And that was one of the things that just kept going off in my mind. But when I listened to it, I'm like, yo, I think because he's rapped like this in similar songs, but it's not over these type of beats.
Right.
I've tried listening to his music, and it, like you said, Lau, sometimes it doesn't sound good, especially where he's coming, especially the region he's coming out of. If he's rapping with the boom bap sound like this, and it just sounds like it to me, it sounds like, especially if you put him, Conductor, and Westside Gunn in the studio for 6 weeks. That might be way too long for Westside Gunn.
2 weeks
Yeah.
at the most, at max. He's not spending any more time in there.
Yeah.
No.
Like, yo, listen, I'm gonna let y'all do your thing. I'm gonna come back. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Let me hear what it sounds like.
Yeah.
No, the album's gonna be done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The album's gonna be done. The album should be done. But in the event it's not done, Westside's like, yo, listen, I got art shows. I got Buffalo Kids Gallery to open.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this. Yo, I'll be back. Put Boldy James, put Boldy and put Conway on there. We got an album.
Yo, let me intervene for like 30 seconds. One thing I will shout out Westside is he's gonna make sure that the lesser known Griselda artists, they're on the project. Like
Absolutely.
he always has Boldies on his project. You gotta shout him out for that because he's trying to show his artist love.
Yeah, no, that's a fact, especially when it's like the history that we have with artists where a rapper signs another rapper and it's like, hey, yeah, he raps also, but I'm the star. I'm not going to give it sucks that it happens, but it's so common. It happens so commonly.
Too much.
And that, like you said, when we see something like this, you got to salute it.
Yeah.
I do know what I believe with Sauce Walka, because I know he said something about Rock Nation, because I remember there was a talks about him signing in the Rock Nation at one point, but he wanted to stay independent. Hopefully similar to like what Westside was doing with Larry June, where they did like, I guess they're doing a Griselda collab project. Hopefully, like you said, he can do a collab project with Sauce Walka, or if the money's right, whatever they can do. Because I really think for Sauce Walka especially, though we're talking about Westside Gunn and his album as in total, I do think Westside Gunn and Griselda probably is the best fit for Sauce Walka in terms of like moving his career forward.
Yeah, like it's kind of crazy, man. Like